Hi, Chef Lakai again. Welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm taking you back to my roots. I'm doing a Virgin Islands special where I'm making a beef pate. Now, pate is something that's commonly made in all of the islands and even Africa. They use it under different names. Like, for example, Haitians call it meat pies, and I believe Nigeria also call it meat pies. Jamaicans call it Jamaican style pates as well. But every single Caribbean island have their version of it. This is the Virgin Island style. This is what my grandmother taught me, and this is what I'm making today. First and foremost, you need to make sure that your hands are very clean because you're going to be using your hands a lot for this. And in this dish, I have 3 cups of all-purpose flour that I have measured out already. Then this is some extra flour just for dusting, for rolling the dough. We have a teaspoon of salt. I have 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. I have 2 teaspoons of unsalted butter, as well as 2 teaspoons of shortening, Crisco, as a matter of fact. I have some warm butter, and this is 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And this is all you're gonna need to mix this dough. So first you're gonna mix all your dry ingredients. So in a large bowl, I'm gonna add the 3 cups of all-purpose flour. Then I'm going to add the salt. I'm gonna go in with the brown sugar. Now it's been pounded, so right in there. Then I'm gonna add the baking powder, and I'm gonna add the shortening and the unsalted butter. And what we're gonna do is, this is why I say your hands have to be very clean, is you're gonna go in and you're gonna mix all of these together. You wanna make sure that you incorporate that shortening and the butter in this dough before you add any of the wet ingredients, which is the milk. So you wanna keep mixing it. You're kinda looking for a consistency of something like that. Mix it up, take your time. Okay, my grandmother used to make this for us all the time, and we thought we were so rich, not knowing that this was actually a way to feed a whole lot of people. But I have so many memories. I've burned my tongue many different times eating it fresh from the oil, which is the traditional way. But today I'm actually gonna air fry a few of them, which is a healthier version, and then I'm gonna show you how the traditional way. So this is the way my grandmother do it. Some people use water, but here's a cup of whole milk that I'm gonna add slowly into the flour mixture. And then I'm gonna mix it up till it forms a dough ball. Now, this dough, it has to sit for at least an hour while everything is incorporated. You want everything to be mixed thoroughly. You want it to be nice and soft. You don't want it to be too hard, but you also don't want it to be too soft. This is perfect. The consistency is exactly what I'm looking for. So I'm gonna mix it around in this bowl while I'm trying to pick up the little extra flour around the edges. And then I'm gonna put it on my counter and I'm gonna roll it out, knead it, and let it sit for about an hour. So I'm moving my bowl and I'm kneading my dough. Now when the dough sticks to your hand a little bit like that, all you need is a little bit of flour. You can add that and it actually comes right off. So we always want a little bit of extra flour around. So we're gonna knead this until it looks smooth. And then I'm gonna let it sit for about an hour, and then we'll come back and I'll show you how to mix the meat that goes into it. Okay, so this is basically the consistency you're looking for in the dough. You see where it's nice and soft, but it's easily pliable. this is what you're looking for. So I'm gonna sit it in my bowl. I'm gonna cover it up, and it's gonna sit here for an hour while all the ingredients get to know each other. And then we'll be back in an hour. Right now I'm gonna heat up my pan that I'm gonna use to brown my beef and give it lots of flavor. So I'm turning this duck stop cooktop, I'm turning it on, and it's gonna be heating up at 300 degrees. Next, I'm gonna explain all of my ingredients that I'm gonna be putting in this pan while I heat up. Okay, so right now I have a pound of ground beef. There's a cup of red onions that are finely chopped, some dried fresh thyme, a teaspoon of that. There's about 3 teaspoons of scallions that are chopped. There's 3 garlic cloves that I've grated, and I like my garlic grated because I like it to disappear in my meat. That's just a personal preference of mine. Then we have a habanero pepper that's been chopped up, and we like a little spice to give it to balance out the sweetness of the dough. So that's why we use a lot of that. And this teaspoon of tomato paste. I have a half a cup of red, yellow, and orange bell peppers that have been finely diced. We do have some chicken stock that I have on the side in case it gets a little dry. I can add it to give it a little bit more moisture. I have some extra virgin olive oil that I'm going to use to saute the vegetables. And I'm going in with some of my favorite seasonings, which is McCormick garlic and onion with black pepper and sea salt. And then some adobo, which I use that pretty much in almost all my dishes. And then we're gonna hit it with a little bit of sazon. So basically now, since my pan has been heating up, I can see the smoke coming from it. I'm gonna add a little bit of olive oil, and I'm gonna add my onions. Now I'm gonna reserve some of these onions because I did chop up a little bit more, but in the detail you're gonna find out exactly how much I use. Then I'm adding my bell peppers. I'm sauteing those with the onions so they can get nice and soft. I'm gonna add my scallions. That's going in. I'll add all of those. Then I'm gonna add my Scotch habanero peppers. But you can also use Scotch bonnet if that's what you have. But I happen to have some habanero, and I can feel it hit in my throat because of the spices. Yeah. So right now, we're just browning the ground beef, and at this point is where I'm gonna add a little bit of my seasoning as it's cooking. So I'm gonna go in. I think it's gonna be about maybe a couple of teaspoons of this McCormick seasoning. Then I'm gonna add a couple of teaspoons of the adobo. Wow, that habanero pepper is really spicy. It's kicking off. Then I'm gonna add about half of this adobo. I mean sazon, sorry. And then I'm just gonna keep browning this until there's no more pink, and you wanna make sure your veggies are cooked. Okay, my ground beef has been cooking for about 5 minutes. It's completely brown and it's a little dry. So sometimes you don't need to, depending on how much moisture the meat has. But I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of, this is chicken stock, to it, just because I want the veggies to be completely tender in there. And we're gonna let this cook down until most of this liquid is completely absorbed. And then I'll be back to show you the finished product. Okay. This is basically what you're looking for. Most of the liquid has been absorbed and the meat, the veggies are nice and tender. So you want to, at this point, you will taste a little bit to see if you added enough salt. Perfect, just enough. You can taste the heat from that habanero pepper, and you can definitely taste all the seasonings that we put in. So at this point, we are going to turn this off, and we're gonna let it cool before we put it into the pâtés, because you can't put the hot meat into the dough. It has to be room temperature. So I'll see you when I come back. Hi, welcome back. Our dough has been sitting for about an hour, and now I'm gonna show you how we assemble and put our pâtés together. First, you're gonna make sure that your countertop is nice and clean. You're gonna sprinkle it with a little bit of flour because you're gonna need it to roll the dough out. So with the 3 cups of flour, it should give me 10 pâtés. I'm gonna probably make about 6 of them today. So my dough press, I'm gonna just cut in about 2 inches. About 2 inches, I'm cutting my dough, and that should give me a really nice sized pâté. So I rolled it out. I'm cutting the dough, and then let's see how many we got. So that gave me 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, exactly 10 pâtés. So our dough has been rolled out, cut into 10 pieces. Right now I'm gonna just roll them out in little balls before I actually roll them and put the meat inside of them. So everyone has their own techniques. This is the way I roll my dough into my little balls. Basically, I switch the dough around, sticking my finger in until it's nice and flat. So for the purpose of this video, I'm gonna do 6 of them today so that you can see how they look. So here's our meat that we made earlier. It's been sitting so it got nice and firm, and that's what I want because it's gonna be put into the dough. It doesn't need to be hot. So it's cooled down quite a bit, and I'm gonna show you how we roll out our dough. First, you take a little bit of flour, you put on the rolling pin, and we roll it as flat as we can. You want it, the thinner you can get it, the better, but you don't want it too thin so as, you know, it comes apart. So that's perfect right there. All right, so as you can see, I rolled it out. Then I'm gonna go in with the meat. I'm gonna put 1 tablespoon, maybe 1.25 tablespoons of meat in that. You don't want to overstuff it, because if you overstuff it, then it'll come apart when you're frying it. So then I'm gonna add a little bit of water around the edges to bind the 2 ends together when I put it together right there. I'm gonna fold it over. We're gonna tuck it in, and then we're gonna make sure we clinch it with a fork to make sure that the ends are completely seal. Okay, this one is done. Then you're gonna take the fork and you go and you just press it down, and that's sealing the edges in. And I'll be back when I finish with all the rest of them. Hi everyone, I've assembled all our meat patés. Some are going to go into the air fryer and then some are going to be deep fried. But before I do that, there's one final step. We're going to make an egg wash for the ones that are going into the air fryer. And we're going to put an egg wash on the ends of the ones that are deep fried just so it can seal, keep it sealed so it doesn't open and all the meat fall out. So I have a little bit of water, maybe a couple teaspoons of water, and then I'm gonna crack one egg. Into that, I'm going to whisk the egg together. And the reason why, you know, egg is a binder, so that's why it's commonly used in lots of dishes. So anyway, okay, it's almost done. The egg is finished binding. So this is a step that my grandmother didn't use because I guess I don't know. I'm done. Yeah, because she sealed it so well that it never came apart. But this is something that we do today. It helps me from preventing it from unsealing. So I'm gonna put the egg wash on 3 of them. 3 of them are gonna go into the air fryer and 3 of them are gonna be deep fried. So as you can see, I'm brushing the egg wash lightly, and it's gonna give it a nice sheen as well over that. And then yes, so patés is a thing. It's a very common dish, and it was used to feed many people with little ingredients. It's very popular today, but that's why so many people did it, because they had large families and they had to feed a lot of people. So with very few ingredients, they could feed everyone and everyone was happy. So when I come back, I'm gonna show you, the oil will be heated up in the air fryer and you'll see how it goes. Okay, so now the egg wash is on the patés and we're gonna put some in the air fryer and then I'm gonna deep fry some. So basically I'm taking the pate and I'm setting 1 in each fryer because I don't want to overcrowd it. I have 3 to go in the air fryer and then I'm gonna deep fry 3. And the reason for that is that I love the traditional deep fried oily. That's what I grew up on. It's nostalgic for me. My husband is more new school. He doesn't like grease and he wants it healthier. So therefore the air frying will eliminate all the extra oil. So I'm putting those in and I'm setting them in the air fryer. And we will turn it on in a few minutes. And also I'm gonna do one at a time in the deep fryer until it's set. Okay, so the oil is hot now. It's on 350 degrees. We're gonna dump 1 of the patés in and let it go until it turns completely golden brown. That's what you want. and we'll be back with the finished product in a few minutes. Okay, so I just pulled the pate out of the oil. As you can see, it's risen because the baking powder did its job. It's completely cooked and it's completely sealed because of the egg wash. No openings completely, and this is what it should look like. Next, we're gonna go with the next fried one. All right, here we have the completed product. We have 2 that I air fried, and you can see how absolutely beautiful. And then the 4 of them are deep fried. So right now we're about to do a taste test, deep fried versus air fried. We're gonna cut it. That's what you want, nice firmness on the outside, but nice and soft inside. That's the air fry one. Ooh, the deep fried, nice and crunchy. That's when you know. Look inside, look at all the juiciness of the meat. Okay, we are gonna go in with one of the baked, the air fry, actually air fry pates, first try. This is delicious. This may be my new favorite. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button, and please share with your friends. Thanks again.